Hey guys, Brian from Weird World War II. A little early, just getting everything set up for the show. I'm about to get my computer there. Can you help it? There we go. Oh man. If anybody's out there, let me know if you can hear me. Here early, just to get everything situated. Yeah, we'll start up at 8 proper. So man, I'm perusing the YouTube, and I'm shocked to discover that the legendary Ron Jeremy has been in jail since 2020 for sex shit. But he's like, I guess he's like lost his mind. So he's like, has been deemed not fit for trial. So it's probably some sort of STD right in his brain. All those years of humping. What an early life, man. Woo. Crazy. Yeah, it's hot as hell down here in Texas, folks. Woo, man, it is rough. Rough. Like 102 out there, but it feels like 110 or 115. It's just dry. Well, actually, it rained a little bit the other day, so it's all humid. All that moisture just floating around in the air. But yep. Ticky, what's up, dude? Where you been? You've been off the grid for a while, man. You must be working your ass off. I don't think I've seen a video from you for a bit. School and overtime, shit, man, that'll do it, bro. That will do it. I stumbled across. I think you had mentioned this guy's YouTube channel. He does kind of like the history of K-47. Pretty interesting. I'm a big history guy, right? And like in my Weird World War II, I do a lot of it's not just big titty she wolves and zombies and shit. I actually do a shit ton of research about like what if scenarios and how things might have changed or whatever, right? And it's interesting the interesting take of what K-47's timeline is. Had some again, this is all it's all fantasy, obviously, but some of that stuff is like, I can tell they're kind of they're trying to stay kind of in a political state, like a realistic what if, but I mean some of that's like Turkey. The Turkey stuff is a bit out there, but and then like Sweden. I can't remember, but yeah, it was I had pretty cool. I mean, it's interesting to listen to it and throw out my opinions of what might have happened. So yeah, it's funny because I mean, if geopolitically, Turkey was really tight with the Brits. Okay, they had a big financially, they're really tight with the Brits. And although their political dealings with the Nazis were favorable too, so they're just riding the line between both. And I don't think unless the Commonwealth collapsed, I just don't see Turkey joining the Axis, man. I think their financial ties to the Commonwealth a lot more powerful than the dictatorial kind of shit. But I don't know. It's interesting to read about. It's interesting to think about. Oh yeah, so Russia didn't get the Rift tech. They kind of yeah, and that's another thing. It was like, they were talking about like God, what was it? The Germans are dumping a bunch of like equipment, Rift Tech equipment to the Turks. I'm like, shit, dude, that shit's got to be rare. And they're not going to send it to, I mean, it would be like sending, King Tigers to the Hungarians, you know what I mean? Or the Romanians or the Italians. You wouldn't. You'd send those King Tiger badass, top of the line equipment to your elite troops. You wouldn't send them to like allies. So like when they were talking about sending all this Rift Tech to Hungary, I'm just Turkey. I'm just saying shit, dude. That stuff's got to be rare. It's got to be going. If anywhere, it'd be going up to Finland or something to fend off the Soviet hordes up there. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting kind of like a brain think. It's pretty cool. All right, guys. So it's 8:00. Weird World War II is on the march. So let's do this topic. So I had a buddy, a good gaming buddy, pass away this last week. And I haven't personally seen this, but I've read about it and like secondhand. I've seen where gamers or collectors in general, their families, after they're gone, their families are shackled with their collection. Okay. Now, I've heard from lots of different kind of groups. There's people who are saying like, I'm going to tell my family, how much it's worth, and then they could put it up on eBay for sale or whatever. But if you've never been on eBay, it's not just like a plug and play. I mean, you really gotta mess with it. You gotta post all the shit up. You gotta put the listing, and then you gotta ship it. You gotta ship that shit. And how do you even bundle everything together? Do you bundle whole armies or whole just whole armies or whole just see, that's what I'm talking about. It's like these loved ones may not know, like, you're not going to want to sell like a couple, like you don't want to sell them a single man at a time, or you want to sell like 150 miniatures painted for like $5. It's just, they may not know, right? Just because they're not into it. And if they are into it, the mourning of their loved one, it just might be too much for them to fucking deal with, right? And it might be easier just to like give it away or throw it away or donate it or whatever. So I just wanted to, like, if anybody should, I know Tiki, you're here. I'd really like to know. I mean, you're a young guy. I'm 50, so I'm thinking about this stuff, and it's like, I don't want to burden my family, with unnecessarily after my passing, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I've always told myself that, like I've told my wife, I'm saying, look, Mel, talk to JC. JC's a good buddy of mine. He's a big Weird War weirdo, and he might be able to help her. Or but I haven't done a concrete like idea or plan to figure out what to do. Now, some guys are talking about like, like, I'm going to donate it all, and we'll do an auction, and then all the donations will go to charity. And that's fantastic, man. That's great. The thing is like, where do you sell it? I mean, are you going to burden your family? Like, okay, sweetie, this massive, like, let's just say, let's go old school, the Gronards. Let's say they have, 60 year or 50 years of like, 28, 15 millimeter Napoleonics, all painted out, beautiful. All, these guys are, button counters, and it's fucking a beautiful army, right? Beautiful, see everything about it. It's great. Where do you sell that shit? You know what I mean? It's like, and then it's like their wife or their kids that aren't into it. I mean, where do they go? Now, what I put forward to, and this is why I want to talk to all you guys, is I think as a community, there's two people in our gaming community, and I hate this. I hate to say this, but there's those who really want to fucking help, right? They really want to help the widow, and they really want to help the family, try to get the best, or just execute, the gamer's, will and testament. And then there's those who want to benefit from it. They want to buy stuff from it, or they want to, acquire things from the collection or whatever it is. Now, I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not. The whole idea, if they're going down that road, if the family's going down that road, they want to liquidate it, right? So they want to get rid of it anyway. But I think that sometimes those attitudes kind of come forth in like, ooh, I can get a good deal with all this stuff, lowball them. Because by nature, you don't highball something, right? So I'm just sitting here, I'm just thinking about it. It's just because I have a lot of shit, guys. I mean, I got, again, 40 years of gaming. I got terrain and minis and vehicles. I got unbuilt shit. I got, rule books, counters, all that kind of shit. It's just everything that's involved in the hobby. And I'm just thinking about how I would lay it up to help my family when I'm gone, so it's not like an overburden to them. Now, I've also heard where people say, well, I'm probably going to donate it to the local brick and mortar so they can use it to, help. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, in my area, all my shit is a weird World War II guy or / World War II, right? That's it. Now, there's a bolt action crew. There's a bolt action scene here in Central Texas, but there's no fucking weird war. And if I donated all my stuff to a shop, they wouldn't fucking appreciate it. They'd probably just sell it. Honestly, God's truth. All the brick and mortars around here, they would just sell that shit. I don't really even know them, dude. I don't really know these guys. I mean, they're all, the closest one is a game shop attached to a head shop. So there you go. That's kind of the attitude of the staff, right? Smoking their whatever the fuck and playing their magic. But if I dumped 100,000, dozens of thousands of dollars worth of shit, they'll just say, oh yeah, I'll take it, man. They'll just sell that shit. It's not going to go to anybody. It's not going to be like a house army. It's not going to be anything like that. Although the intent is good, just the execution and the reality of it is probably far removed from what you're thinking. So, I don't know. And I dig these idea, like if the family doesn't want it, and if they want to like liquidate the armies, to like do some sort of donation or, some sort of auction, and then all the proceeds go to some sort of, your favorite charity. But it's the mechanics of that actually coming to head. It's like, where do you go? I mean, do you just go to and this is your family. This isn't you guys. This is your family. This is your grieving family. Like, let's say you want to give your money to Wounded Warrior Project, right? Whatever. So what do? Do they call Wounded Warrior and say, hey, I got a bunch of shit that I want to sell, and all the proceeds I want to give to you? And I'm like, oh, that's great. What do I do? And they're like, are they going to say, yeah, we'll set up an auction house? And I don't think they would do that. I don't think they do that. They're a charity. They're not like, I don't know if they would facilitate a collection, put it up for auction, service that for the possibility of getting, monies from it. I just don't think that's what charities would do, but I don't know. I really don't. I think it's it's an honorable idea. And if you could do it, but definitely think about, don't just, and again, this is all just on the top of my head, guys. This is all raw because I really don't fucking know. I also told Mel, I said, look, box all that shit up, take it to a convention. Most conventions have kind of like a maybe have a like like a flea market, right? Or just get a table, get a vendor's table, just put it all out there, and then just say, make me an offer. I mean, I would think that would probably be the easiest thing, in my opinion, to do by yourself. But again, it's lugging all that shit. It's been in there for about an hour, babe. I'm trying to cook some dinner here, guys. What's the matter?
Burnt.
It's burnt?
Yeah.
It ain't burnt.
Burnt the pan. Yeah.
Burnt the pan?
Oh, warped.
No, that's warped. It's all right. It means it's cooked. Anyway, but yeah, so but I mean, she would have to. I mean, honestly, we have like a little sedan. She'd have to rent a fucking truck or a U-Haul, a small U-Haul, and drag all that shit up there, unload it, showcase it. I mean, but is that something that your family is going to be able to do, if not willing to do? Now another idea is like get with some of your gaming friends, man. Now if you have like a gaming club, gaming clubs aren't like the European version of gaming clubs doesn't really exist in the States in a big way. I mean, they're out there, of course, but nothing like the European model. And is it gross?
I'm gonna go get something.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby. What is it like?
It's like mushy. Everything's mush.
It's probably not cooked all the way.
Well, probably not, but it's all like you didn't put no air in it.
I rather okay. So guys, she told me to put all the shit in like this like bag and put it in the oven, right? And I did. That's exactly what I did. I followed the instructions. I put a little flour in there so it wouldn't burn. I put a little water.
Wait,
keep it
flour?
warm. Yeah, it said put a little thing of flour in there so it doesn't burn. That's what it said. No, that's what the fucking instructions say. So don't give me any shit.
Y'all, I gotta go get something to eat.
Oh, I burnt the dinner. Sorry.
What am I gonna do with you?
Well, sell all my shit and make some money, hopefully.
No.
She can just dump it on the curb, dude.
I'm going to Subway.
All right, just give me the teriyaki.
All the fixings on
Yeah,
it?
that's fine.
Whatever I want to put on it?
Whatever. I'm on live here. See, women. It's like if I'm not on the fucking internet, I'm on the toilet and she's talking to me through the door. Or it's like my kids, my dogs. My God, no peace. But yeah, go get us something. Go give me a taco cabana. You know I like a taco cabana. Okay, so anyway, Ryan, what's up, buddy? But yeah, so another way to do this is your gaming buddies. Now, if you have a trusting gaming pal, they can help with it. And that's where I'm kind of leaning to. I'm kind of leaning to a buddy that at least the family can talk to and say, hey, is there any way that, if I show you this shit, is there any way that you can help me sell it? And I think as a community, as a gaming community, I think it's our job. I mean, we don't have to. Of course, I don't mean it's your job. You have to fucking do anything. But I'm just saying, I think it would be good if someone was to pass, one of your gaming pals, offer your help to the family on that topic. It's like when things settle down and when you're ready to decide on whatever you do, let me help you with that. And be fucking honest, guys. Don't be fucking a vampire, trying to get their shit. I mean, if they want to sell it, that's something different. But if you want to help them, be honest. I mean, listen, guys, buying a fucking box of, Warlord, Japanese for $20 or whatever it is, right, is a lot different than trying to sell it for that same amount, man. It's hard to get your value back. And if they're painted, it's all subject, it's all, but yeah, I mean, that's what pizza delivery. Ryan's like, just get some pizza, bitch.
Hell yeah.
He didn't say bitch, but I put the bitch in there.
Oh man.
But he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. But no, but yeah, so like, a buddy of mine, he's a big eBay guy, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna put post-it notes. But shit, you can die like in 15 minutes after I talk to you. Then what? You know what I mean? And then it's like you're probably not going to get the collector value. And if you do, I don't know if your family is going to take that time. You know what I mean? It's if they're
mostly families don't know what.
Do you want to sit in and talk?
No, I'm gonna go.
No.
I'm gonna go get dinner. But truthfully, guys, most times your family does not know what you have.
Exactly.
I mean, seriously, it'd be like someone going to your closet, females, and saying, "Oh, she's got 10,000 pairs of shoes." They don't know that
some of them are
3 or 4 of them cost $5,000.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, shit. I would know. I would not know that.
Yeah, just like that purse.
Or like your jewelry. I wouldn't know if anything was worth a shit or if it's just costume. I would not know.
I had a purse.
Oh yeah,
$2,500 purse.
I wouldn't even know that. It's like got fucking ducks on it.
Yeah.
It's like, what is it called? A ducky bird or something like that?
No, it's a.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, and that's a perfect example. Mel plays the games with it, and she knows a little bit about it.
But I don't know how much it is.
She doesn't know the value of the minis. She doesn't know like the circles to where you buy it or where you sell it, or she doesn't know anything about that shit.
I just hold on to it till I die.
And listen, and some families, they see this collection as, because honestly, guys, we put a lot of heart and soul in this game, in these gaming, in this hobby, and it's like, I think a lot of these widows might just box it up and keep it because they don't know what to do with it. They would feel, they know how much it meant to their loved one, and to just get rid of it might be too much. And trying to sell it might be too much, so they just hold on to it. So guess what happens? Their kids or their other family have to deal with it later on down the road. So it's just still sitting there. So let's see. Ryan says Julie could care less about my gaming stuff. She'd be just as keen to toss it all in the garbage. Yeah. So I'd rather give it to them and then keep, sell, do whatever they want with it. Yeah, and that's true. It's like it almost makes me want to think, start like a non-profit for gamers. Like, like the non-profit, like gets the donations and like, helps liquidate it for a fee or disperses it to whoever they want them to disperse because they'll know what the hell it is. It's like, if I got a full collection of like first edition, like if I died and Mel sees my first edition mint condition collection of D&D, right? It's all mint, in box, never been. She would have no fucking idea if that was worth anything, So she might just take it down to freaking half price books. Just here you go. Give it to the neighbor kids, like who don't even speak English. What are they gonna do with it? But yeah. Well, yeah, and so Cal says, I hope by the time my kids will want to keep it, or my wife will want to. Listen, man, I got kids, and none of my kids are interested in this. They play it because dad plays it, but they don't. They're not interested. They've painted the armies and they've collected a little bit, but they've done their own thing. They like video games and they like anime and manga and all that shit, and they just don't really have the passion that we might have. And it just breaks my heart to see, like, my friend that passed away, his wife is, beside herself with grief, man. I mean, because the love of her life is dead, right? And that vacancy in her life and in her soul is huge. And she sees this stuff, and it just reminds her of him. And, it takes up a lot of space and whatever, but, and I hear that I've heard conflicting things of what she wants to do with it. And I've heard what she told me, what she wants to do with it. And then like, I've heard from the third party saying that she wants him to do something. Anyway, listen, whatever it is it's up to her. But I don't want her to get taken advantage of. I don't want her to like make a rash decision. But you know what? Ultimately, it's just shit, man. It's just stuff. I mean, if it's a burden and the family, doesn't know what to do with it, they're just going to dump it. They'll donate it. They'll donate it to Goodwill, or they'll donate it to. They might just take it to a game shop and throw it down. I mean, it might be that just. So, what I want you guys to do is I want you to think about it. I want you to think about if you died tomorrow, or next week, what would your family have to do? Especially I know some of you guys have young kids. If you're gone and your wife has a couple small kids and kids in tow, I mean, just imagine the burden of dealing with your death, funeral arrangements, memorials, all that shit. And then the fucking money issues. And then it'd be devastating. And that would be the last thing they want to fuck with is, trying to get rid of this stuff. It'd probably just sit and play for a long time, just sit and stay. Let's see. So Ryan says, since none of us really live much beyond our friends' kids in terms of people remembering you, I hope my friends would at least remember the good times we had when I was. Oh, of course, man. Yeah, of course. Or my son thinks of me when he's playing with the stuff in the future. Now, I mean, and that's true. I mean, a lot of us dads, hold that torch that our kid will fall in love with this hobby and just have this extensive collection to take with them and to grow with it to their family. But what is the percentage of that? I mean, what is the percentage of your sibling, of your children, not siblings, your children, or even your siblings? What is the percentage of that as passionate as you are in your hobby? Are they going to take the burden of all this shit, and then deal with it? Or is it just going to be another storage thing? It's just heartbreaking, man. And it's just, and as much as I love our hobby, I do. I love gaming. I love modeling. I love paint. I'm not a big painter anymore, but the whole part of it. I'm passionate about it, and to just think that someone's lifelong endeavors in the hobby, is just cast aside because of sadness or just ignorance and not knowing how to liquidate it or what it's worth or where to even take it or what the fuck it even is. You look down and it's like, French hussars. It's just dudes on fucking horses with swords. You know what I mean? That's what a person who doesn't know anything about it would see. It's like, what the fuck do I do with this? The little painted toy soldiers. And I mean, and I seriously doubt any family is gonna take the time, and that's what it is. If you want collector prices, you're gonna have to put in the time, because you are not gonna get what you want out of the gate, man. You're gonna have to it's gonna sit there. If you're talking say eBay, I've done that whole eBay collector shit, man. It's back in the day when I first got on eBay, when eBay first started, it was great. People would buy all this shit, but now there's so much, and people want so much for it. They want overstreet price guide shit for comics. It's your comics ain't worth nothing. Collectibles are only worth what the other person is willing to fucking pay you. You know what I mean? This arbitrary, this thing's worth, this miniature is worth $7 that I painted. It's like, fuck that. I'm gonna buy but it's up to the buyer. So, but then the thing is your family's got to make that commitment to just piecemeal it out for however long it takes to just get that little bit of money. They got to ship it, they got to deal with all that shit, and something they don't even care about. I mean, they care about it because it was dad's or whoever. But then, the reality of it is it gets really fucking heavy, really fucking quick. And, I'd love to hear the comments, the people who see this later and see the comments, leave some, your ideas on what you want to do. And, I honestly pretty much told Nell to call a couple of my buddies to see if they can help her, or just, take it to a con and just fucking put it all out there and just say, make me an offer. So, because I don't want her to be burdened by all that shit. It takes up a full fucking room in our home, like it's full of stuff, and it's a lot of stuff, man. And I just don't want my family to be burdened with such things. Well, there you go. So Ryan says, so my son is 2. I think what I should do is write a letter to him about these things and tell him how important these things were to me and how much joy they brought to my life. That's fantastic, dude. That's a great idea. That communication. Because again, how often do we sit down with our loved ones and say, hey, I really love this hobby and it means a lot to me. And I would love for you to enjoy it as, that's a rare thing. You pretty much do your own thing and with the people that, connect with you, and it's leave it at that. But we don't think that far ahead. We don't think the morbidity of fucking, being dead. We don't want to think about that shit. But exactly. So, and that's another thing. It's like, as we're alive, we want to tell our family, like, this shit meant a lot to me. And if you can, respect that. But then as we age, honestly, guys, if I were to die and, Mel was overwhelmed with whatever, and she was just going to dump it, I wouldn't care. I'm up in gamer heaven or whatever. And I'm like, baby, do what you got to do. I had a great time with it when I was alive. And it's all weird World War II shit. It's so niche that, she get, and the other thing I might do, I just say, hey, listen, get onto the, the YouTube groups, the Weird World War II, you group, and say, hey, look, Brian's dead. He's got a bunch of shit. If you want to help, me, offer me some shit or something like that. Yeah, and that's another thing. We're a community here, guys. All this social interaction that we have, and dude, most of you guys I've never even seen or talked to, like, other than like, this kind of dialogue. And I consider you guys friends. Most of you guys I've never even seen or talked to, like, other than like, this kind of dialogue. And I consider you guys friends. My gaming pals, and we should look out for each other, man. And like, if one of us falls, we should tell our family that, hey, go to this community and tell them what happened, and and let's help them. Let's fucking help them. Let's not necessarily take their shit, get a cheap deal on, a massive army or collection, but let's really be fucking human and supportive and do what we can do, if we can do anything. We don't, there's a lot of gamers out there, and just think of all the like the big games like 40K or Warhammer. There's sales from people who just kind of walk into it for a couple years and they walk out. So that shit is all just floating around. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a lot of stuff out there, but where does all the old stuff go? Are companies? Are people buying? Are gaming companies buying big lots? Maybe they should. Maybe that's a niche kind of job model or business model. It's like, I'll buy collections, and sell secondhand shit. So I don't know. It's a, and this is all backdrop on a realistic thing. My friend passing away, and I'm bummed, dude. I'm bummed about him gone, and I'm bummed about his wife having to, make these hard calls about something they love so much. And it's just hard. It's hard to think about it because I just don't know what I would do. I really don't. I guess if you put like in a will, if you had a will and you maybe if you're part of a gaming club, you could will your shit to the club. But what does that actually entail? It's a gaming club. Okay. So who from the club drives over and gets everything and brings it to the club? And then when it's at the club, then what? Is it just boxed? Is it distributed amongst the members? I mean, I don't know. I think these are legitimate questions, because if that's your intent to, like, okay, you have this great gaming club you've been with for 15, 20 years, and all the guys are great or whatever, and you got this massive collection, right? And that's your intent, is to just give it to them, okay? And you tell your family that, but what's actually going to happen? Are they going to come and get it? Are they going to are they going to respect it? Are they going to just sell it? Are they going to just give it to each other? I mean, I don't know. These are things that you should think about, because with all the money and time that we devote to this hobby, I think it's a disservice to our families to not think about this shit, like, when we're gone, and to leave them with all the decisions. So Ryan says, it's funny, I feel friends has taken on a new connotation in the world of the internet. I have a lot of friends who I've never met, but I talk with all the time. It's true, man. It's funny because my kid, I homeschool my kids, right? And the first thing people say is like, oh, you need to socialize them. Oh, I'm like, okay, but I mean, what about your kids? Are they out riding bikes till nighttime? Are they, at the park playing baseball? More than likely, they're in front of fucking screens. They got all these friends online. They're playing their games with their buddies in France and in Australia and all this shit. And I'm just sitting there. It's like, my kids are socializing just like your kids are. Just, it's just the new thing. And there's validity in it, because I mean, look at our hobby, man. We have outlets that we all interact with, we all give time to, we all, have passion towards, we all interact with each other. And that's what you do in reality. That's what you do with the person standing next to you at the bar, or, your buddies at the gaming table. I mean, we're doing it. We're just doing it in a different form. But yeah, and honestly, I consider all you Weird World Weirdos family, man, because you guys are small. I mean, you're not small. You're part of a niche of a niche of a niche of a niche hobby. And you guys are passionate, man. You guys fucking rock. You're making this game what you want it to be. You guys break weird however the fuck you want it. That's one of the biggest things with Weird World WWII for me is it's what you want. You calling a witch. You play it how you want, man. There's none of this fucking, you got to have this, this new Q&As. I mean, fuck all that shit. And I don't know. I don't know how you guys play that tournament style of play. It's just crazy. Yeah, I know. It's like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, all these people like have wrecks and shit by texting on their phone. What the fuck? Why don't you just talk on the phone? And then, like, I have I got a phone. Like, I got a mobile phone, right? I just got this like maybe 6 months ago. I never had one before. And it's like, well, once you text, I'm like, why don't I just fucking talk to you? And I can put it on like speaker. I can stick it on the floorboard and I can talk to you without wrecking. But no, they're like, they're driving. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Just talk. But I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, so, think about this, guys. I got homework for all you Weird World Weirdos. Think about your families and what they might have to deal with your collection and your hobby when you're gone. And talk to your loved one, talk to your kids, talk to your gaming buddies, and make a plan, dude, because it's rare that we know when we're going to kick off, man. It's rare that we know. And it's always a shock no matter what, even if you did know for the family. But, most of us keel off without having any plan. And being responsible weirdos that we are, I think it's smart. I think it's smart to think about this topic and really talk to your family about it and come up with a plan. And I mean, but if ultimately, if it's not important, if it's not, it's like, this is my hobby, and when I'm gone, you can do whatever you want with it. That's a thing too. It's like, just get rid of it, baby. But I think that there are avenues that you might be able to take to get them a little bit of money in their pocket. But is it worth the time and effort to put into it to get that maybe very little payout? I don't know. I really don't. It's like, most people, like, we were talking about Napoleonics. Most people who are diehard Napoleonic fans that would put in the money, they probably already have all that shit already painted and all badass or whatever, and to just get more of it, they may not need. So I don't know, man. It's a crazy topic. I mean, it's really weird to think about, because I mean, this stuff has been so ingrained in my life for so long. I mean, every woman that has come in and out of my house has dealt with it. My fucking kids, my wife, my siblings, my buddies. I mean, it's been ingrained in my life for so long, and it's almost like it's not there, and I don't think about it. And like, in that way, like, if I'm gone, all this shit, what are they gonna do with it? So I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, 80s. Oh man. But yeah, think about that, guys. Think about what you want to do with it. And if you do have a brick and mortar that you feel comfortable enough to donate all your shit, do it. Shit. And then ultimately, I guess it doesn't really fucking matter. I mean, you like, your family did your wishes, and it's gone, and it's out of the peripheral, and they don't have to mess with it anymore. So be it. But I would also say, like, if you're the recipient of someone's collection, like, if under certain circumstances, like, hey, Brian, I got a big Weird World War II collection I want to give to you. Be honest, dude. Say, like, like, Ryan, you're going to give me all your shit when you die, right? And I might say, Ryan, man, I'm going to be honest with you, brother. I don't need it. I don't have any use for it. Now, if you want me to help your widow sell it or something like that, or find somebody that might be use it, I can do that. But I mean, because more than likely, let's say if I got a whole bunch of shit that I already have, or it's stuff that I don't need, I'd probably get rid of it. I'd probably sell it, and unless that's not what they wanted me to do, I'd probably just not take it. I'd say, look, man, I love you, but I don't think I'm the guy, because I've had, like, people reach out to me and say, hey, man, I want to send you some stuff. I'm like, what, and I'm like, and I don't mean to be, people reach out to me and say, hey, man, I want to send you some stuff. I'm like, what, and I'm like, and I don't mean to be ungrateful, but it's like, what do you send me? Oh, I wanted to send this, this, and this. I'm like, that's really not, I can't really use it in my Weird World War II gaming. I appreciate, the offer, but I don't want it. I don't want to, I don't want you to give it to me and not have it appreciated, not played with. Let me help you find a better home for it, and not just accept it all for some sort of financial, future, financial benefit. And I don't, look, as you guys know, I'm not a big money guy, and if you want to help out the channel, and and you want to give me something, then that's fine. But like, if a buddy of mine, gives me all of his fucking Napoleonic shit, there's thousands of minis of various size and of Napoleonics. I don't want that shit. I mean, it's not shit. It's something I don't want. And I can help you liquidate it and try to find somebody. But again, I mean, it's just something. And if I did get a big old thing in my lap, I'd probably just sell it. I mean, I could give that money to the widow if that's what she wants, or what they want, or whatever. But yeah, I just to get the stuff, it's just, I wouldn't do that. So Ryan says, I think another aspect that comes into play is finances. If you're well off, it's easier to give away. That's true. But with the extensive collections some have, and maybe they don't have a lot of money. That's true too. So even at 1,000, it might be a lot to some families. It's true, man. It's like, I mean, I mean, retail for all the shit I've bought in, over the years is shit ton, right? And I doubt I would get the retail value for everything I bought. I mean, but and you're talking about the rich, like, I'll be honest with you, in my personal experience, but I've always been poor. My personal experience is that the poor are more giving than the rich. And I'm not trying to dog on anybody, but I think I've seen poor people give with no fucking expectations whatsoever. It's like, hey, have this, I know what it's like, it's cool. And I think it's more meaningful, because it's more the very little that they have is they're giving away. But anyway, I'm not trying to do fucking rich versus poor. I don't believe in that shit. I think there's good people in every fucking category, but it's just maybe it's just my personal experience because I've always been in the circles of like the poor folk. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, like, so like when I sold, I had a huge comic book collection, guys, back in the day. And when I got divorced, I had my kids in tow, and I didn't have any fucking money. I was losing my house. I had this massive comic collection, right? And if I had the time to, like, to sell it all out, I could have gotten a shit ton more than I took. I only took several grand for it. It's worth tons more than that. But you know what? At that point, it's just shit. I got my kids. We got to reorganize the life and set everything back up, and that's what the value was. What I got, and it was good. I was happily pleased to get rid of it. So, and then that might be, what happens with you. Like, same thing with your family. It's like the burden of it, or just the sadness of the situation, and just any offer might just be good enough. Any offer. So, if you're presented with the offer, or a chance to make a decent one, don't fuck them, And if you want it and you can't afford it, don't, get somebody else that can give them what they want for it. You got to think of it. These are our pals, man. These are our buddies, and we want to help them. We want to get a good value to their family, not a good value for your collection. So, I don't know. But something to think about. And again, this is coming from personal experience, buddy who passed, and I'm just really thinking about his wife and the pain that she's going through and all the stuff that he had, and what she has to do with it, or the decisions she has to make. And I think that's a conversation that all of us hobbyists should do with our families. I think it's a big thing. And it's like, I just keep thinking there's like a community like chest for gamers. It's like, oh, Steve died, or oh, Billy died over here, and all their shit comes to the community chest, and it's like shipped out to surrogate, gaming clubs. Like, oh, it's like Gaming Club 387 is in need for, French hussars, Napoleonic hussars, right? So it's like, oh, we've got that in the community chest. Let's send that off to be donated to. Or some shit like that. That'd be funny. But again, that's dream world. And then in theory, that all our collections would be collectively just moving around the world and staying in play and being appreciated and gamed with, like, because I know most of us want that. We would rather have someone play with our shit than it just be given away or dumped. Yeah. Yeah. So Ryan's just bury my armies with me, dude. Hey, listen, dude, there was a time where I thought the same way, man. It's like, I was like, this is my army, man. Yeah, this is part of me. And it's just like, yeah, just bury it with me. But I probably legally you couldn't even do. I don't know. I don't even know. Can you bury shit with people? I mean, I don't know. And I guess, they gotta wear clothes. I don't know. I know nothing about the funerary business. So no fucking clue. If you can like say your wife, died before you and she's been cremated, and you want her ashes to be, cremated with your ashes so they can be mixed or whatever. I don't know if you can even do that. I don't know if legally you can do that, or no fucking clue. So I don't even know if they let you like. There might be a like a toxic hazard, like burning all your minis with your body, or just if they bury them with you. I guess the archaeologists, hundreds of years ago, dig up Ryan, and it's like the skeleton surrounded by all these little metal and plastic people. It's like, what is this? He was a giant, and he had armies of little people at his disposal when he passed. But yeah, and if you do have a club, get the club together. Fucking have you. I don't know. I don't know how clubs work. I mean, but I'm sure you have club night where everybody gets together and talk about shit. Talk about this, man. Talk about as the members of this club, what you want to do with your collections if you die. Maybe the club gets together and has a big raffle or a garage, gaming garage sale or whatever it is. I think that would gaming garage sale or whatever it is. I think that would be a great great idea. Have the club as an organization help the family liquidate this, because I've seen that before. I've seen it in like model shops. Modelers are just like gamers, man. They're collectors, man. They got hundreds of they die, and there's hundreds of unbuilt models, right? And the widow doesn't know what the fuck to do with it. So I've seen in lots of like the smaller model shops, there'll be like a whole like back wall of Jimmy's collection. All proceeds goes to Jimmy's family. And it's just like all this shit, this old it's great stuff. I've bought tons of stuff from stuff like that. And it's just like, all this old kits that just were never part of Jimmy's collection that he's never got a chance to finish. So there you go. That might be a way to do it. But you gotta have a brick and mortar that's willing to do that, or the staff that's willing to do that for you too. But yeah. All right, guys. So something to think about. Not the greatest topic to talk about, but as we all get older and as we start to have families, this is kind of shit you got to think about, dude. This is the kind of stuff you got to think about. And we don't want to leave our families with that burden. And shit, Mel just dumped that shit on the corner and just pick up with her boyfriends or girlfriends or her alien friends. She'll forget me quick. But yeah, but all serious, all joking aside, you guys think about that. Think about what you want your collection to do when you're gone, and be realistic, man. Don't say just sell it. That's not going to help them. That is not going to help your family. Baby, sell all my stuff on eBay and that's good. That's not going to help them. It's not. So do something realistic. Think about something realistic that will help them. Or even come up with a guideline on what to do. Seek out. Maybe there are organizations that they liquidate collections. But think about the cost of that and payout and all that. So, and listen, if you are in a community of gamers and one of you guys fall, help the widow, help them out. Offer your services. Just being a good guy, and a gamer, offer to take their stuff to a con and sell it for them. It's the least we could do for a hobby, man. And if you really care about your fellow gamers that that you've been playing with for years and you have befriended, that's the least you can do. So we all joke around about I want your shit when you die and stuff, but that's something to think about. I mean, seriously, it's like, yeah, I mean, in that will have a gamer's hobby will, who'd you say, Ben? It's like, Ben, when you kick off, man, Ryan wants all your shit, all your painted shit. Just write that down somewhere so someone knows, So that'd be funny. There you go. So that's cool too, So Tiki's saying that as a veteran, my family knows how close to me his VFW is. Let wargaming go back to the help helping actual war fighters. Yeah, man. I mean, you donate it to the VFW as like for them to play with, or give it to them, and they would probably like help liquidate it or put it up at auction or whatever. I did see that, but it's like a lot of us gamers, aren't lucky enough to have kind of these social clubs, you know, to facilitate that kind of like assistance. So it's up. It's again. I'm not putting out like, oh, this is some righteous thing and we got to do this shit. You can do whatever you want, but I think if it's somebody that you care about, in a gaming sense, and he's a buddy, and give the widow a hand, dude. Help him out. Maybe steer him in the right direction, or just take the burden off him and be honest. Be helpful. We live in a fucking crazy world, man, and I thoroughly believe humanity is great. I watch all this. It's funny. Me and Mel are watching some goddamn sci-fi, and they're talking about how humanity is self-destructive and kill each other, and it's true. But you know what? Look at the culture all the cultures in this world. They're not dead. They're vibrant and alive, and for the most part, we all interact in peace. I'm not saying it always happens. I mean, we have these cultures, we have science, we have all this shit. It's not a smoldering wreck, not yet, and it's not fucking Thunderdome either, in the majority of the world. So I believe people are good at heart, man. So be good, fucking help people out. It's the least we can do. But all right, guys. So your homework is think about what you want to do for your family. Think about what would happen if you died tomorrow. Help them along. Find people that might help, your fellow gamers, your community, like your groups and your clubs and your organizations. And have all those ducks lined up. So when you're gone, your family can just easily slide that off. If that's what they want to do, slide that off to get the burden, away from them, lugging it around or dealing with it. So, all right, guys. Well, I think Mel just drove up with dinner, and I guess I'm gonna throw out this burnt catastrophe I made for dinner. So, all right, guys, think about it. And talk about it. Go to the Facebook group or any of the social medias that we have, and throw it out there. Get some discussion, and there might be some points of view and ideas, or even personal experience that we might not be privy to. That might be very, very beneficial. All right, guys. So whatever you do in this crazy, crazy mixed up world, be cool. Help out your fellow man. Try to live in peace, and always keep it weird. All right, guys. Take it easy.